Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first installment of Black Joy Voices. This is not a podcast. I'm going to exclaim, disclaimer. This is actually a session to unpack and bring back the concept of Black joy in people of color in the world and in South Africa. And today we have the amazing Mo Lishomwa. Did I pronounce it right?
That's correct, yeah.
Very ecstatic to have her today. I'm super excited. I met her during the course of this week, and I was like, listen, this is what I actually want to do with you, and she approved of it. So, yeah, welcome
Thank
to
you.
the first installment of this amazing show that we're going to continue doing during the course of the years. And Mo.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing really good.
Are you doing?
Nice to be here.
I'm glad you're here in the jungle. We're in the forest currently. So when you think of Black joy, what comes to mind? Like, what is your perception of Black joy?
There's two things. First of all, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is laughter. Because for years, Black people genuinely have joy and laughter and fun in all sorts of situations.
Yeah.
That's the first one. And also the big thing you see on the internet is, when you see the kids laughing and there's all these montages of just laughter.
Yeah.
And sometimes for me, when I'm having a really rubbish day, can I say shit?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
When I'm having a really shit day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just go and listen and watch people laughing on the internet.
Yeah.
The other thing is, partly because of where I'm coming from, is we also find joy in situations that aren't always joyful.
Yeah.
So, for example, I will be honest, in 2020, when there was that whole big Black Lives Matter thing, I was in London at the time.
Yeah.
A friend of mine's a photographer, and he went out and captured a lot of the moments that were happening during those protests.
Yeah.
And in amongst all of that, a whole bunch of kids started doing the candy dance and having a really good time.
What's the candy dance?
Oh, the electric slide, the whole old school shuffle. You tend to see it at
for real?
weddings. You tend to see it at parties.
For real?
But in the middle of a protest, hundreds of people just started doing this dance.
That's
and
crazy.
It was a really serious thing, but it brought a different energy. It brought a different light.
Yeah.
So for me, joy from Black people comes in all sorts of situations. But for me, it stems from, I guess, just as a people, wherever you are in the world.
Yeah.
We've always found happiness and joy in any situation.
Which is true.
That, to me, is where the Black joy comes from.
Yeah.
But for me, mainly when you said do this podcast, this conversation, says it, not podcast.
Yeah.
I just thought of laughter. I just thought of, I laugh my head off with my friends.
Yeah.
At least once a week, once a day. Those big belly laughs that make your ribs hurt.
I mean,
that's important to me. That happens quite a lot in my life. So that to me is also what I think about the joy.
because when I met you, I was like, I think she's actually a very joyful person. You were giving me very good vibrations, positive energy. I never really felt out of place when I was surrounded by you and your aura.
Oh, thank you.
At that time. So I thought, come on, this is God-given. Maybe this is God.
I felt the same. You have very positive energy.
Thank you. I try. Yo, dude, it's hectic, eh? South Africa, we don't have electricity. I think I spent a week. I didn't get to bath or anything. So it's what is going on?
Cold showers.
I tried the cold shower thing. I'm too skinny. Skinny people worldwide, But yeah, it's like I'm hearing you say that people around you bring the most joy.
Yeah.
So when do you practice parts of joy in your life? On a day-to-day, in a monthly basis, when do you feel you practice the most joy?
I think my joy actually is a daily thing. I'm quite intentional as a person. And one of the things in the morning I wake up and the first thing is I actually think about how my day's going to go well. You could feel crap, but to me it's okay, get your mind in the right place.
Yeah.
So my practice of joy is, first of all, is gratitude, and from gratitude to me comes joy.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly is my friends are a huge, and family are a big sense of my joy. So again, it's connecting with them.
Yeah.
That's a daily thing for me. There's certain people not to say people all the time, but I'll reach out to certain people every day.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? What's up? Prime example, the other day I got a text actually from my mom, who was here recently with me, and her idea is, she sends me a picture of her sitting out drinking wine, hanging out with her girlfriends, and she's like, hey, look at us chilling on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And that made me feel good. So it's almost it's that intentional thing and exchanging things that are positive.
Yeah.
And even when things are not going well, we still try and do that. As a group of friends, as a family as well. That's how we vibe.
I mean, as Black people, do you think that's like, it's a big thing for us to create joy, like in our spaces and in how we navigate spaces?
I personally think it's innate.
It's innate, right?
I think I've lived in different places.
Yeah.
I've come across Black people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And to me, there's a commonality that I've seen across the world.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's welcoming. It's about joyfulness. It's about connecting.
Yeah.
The conversation we had.
Yeah.
That to me is something that if you give out the right energy, that's what comes back.
That is very true.
And I've personally, I've seen that, and I've also had other people bring me out of my darkness when I don't expect it. Even for you, I didn't expect to be sitting here.
True.
And I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, great, I've got to get my shit together. I've got to go there and see what this is about.
Yeah.
So that's really good for me.
I mean, that's a very positive way to look at like our first meeting, you know.
Yeah, but I try because that's how you get the best out of people.
Yeah.
To me, that's what's more important. That to me is the most important, because I think innately, as Black people, there's a goodness, there's a joy. To me, that's an innate thing, and I think all the places I've been, it's been a common thread. I'm sitting in a cab. I remember sitting in a cab in LA and having a long conversation with the cab driver. And we ended up laughing, and I knew his story, he knew mine. And that's kind of a natural thing.
So you're telling me about the first time you met Lenny Kravitz. I don't...
gosh, I was
that
a
story,
child then.
that
wow.
story, I mean, I can't forget it because it was so funny. Like, I was just sitting there like, this is insane.
Yeah,
like,
those were days when I used to do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to hear it again if you don't mind.
I called myself a baby at the time.
Yeah.
And I was working with a band.
Yeah.
And we were on tour. It was a private gig, right?
Yes.
In someone booked Lenny Kravitz, and the band I worked with is the second, and Skunk and Nancy, actually, it was 3 bands.
Yes. I love Skunk and Nancy.
Skunk and Nancy, and The Influence is the band I worked with.
Yeah.
And I used to smoke a lot of weed then.
Yeah.
And
the Greens.
Yeah,
the Greens.
Used to be one of them. And I was in my bedroom getting ready, and he walked past, and obviously I was sitting behind the bed, so you couldn't see me because I was on the floor.
Yeah.
And he kind of leaned over and he goes, "You're too young to be smoking that shit. You should stop."
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, it's Lenny Kravitz telling me to stop doing that. And that, to be honest, I was like, oh my God, put it away, and was like, okay, great, I'm going to do this properly. I'm going to get my shit together for the next 2 days and do what he said.
Yeah.
So it was kind of that kind of vibe, but it was it was one of that thing of, it's Lenny Kravitz, but also again, that was more than joy, it was about care. Do you understand?
Okay, let's revert back, right?
Yeah.
So we spoke about when you were a baby.
Yeah.
And you were dapping your joint.
Yeah.
Because Lenny was like,
don't do this stuff.
Going crazy, you know. He's like, he's like father figure.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. Yeah.
It felt like a father figure, just like appearing from the skies, you know. So, just please tell me, like, what happened after you dabbed? Like, what was that emotion that you had when you realized that, oh shit, I need to get my shit together?
It was a case for me at the time. It was a case of, I have to pull my shit. This is professional now. Yeah, I mean, I know you're on tour.
Yeah.
You have fun on tours and stuff, but coming from him and the venue where we were, it wasn't like I'm like, wow, okay, I really do need to be professional. It felt more about professionalism than I shouldn't smoke. And he was like, you're too young for that.
Yeah.
And I just thought, okay. When I didn't stop smoking.
Yeah.
But during that tour,
no,
I didn't. And I was like, okay, and I went to bed on time, and it was literally like I was with my parents.
Yeah.
But he never said anything again in that way. It just became normal chit chat and what have you.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was more of an assistant at the time. So I was the one who was on point to make sure everything was in place.
Yes, of course.
So I was like, well, if I'm high,
How I'm
might
actually
not
going to remember.
do this properly.
Yeah.
I'd winged it in other tours, but I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is now another level, because I'd never toured with that standard. That was when
Of
he was at
course.
the top of his
Game, prime, yeah.
At his prime. So I
Yeah.
was just like, okay,
Let's
get it together.
That's crazy.
And I did until we went on to the rest of Europe. He left.
Yeah.
The rest of the tour, I was back to my
To
self.
shenanigans.
But the
I'm
thing
kidding.
is, the band I was with,
Yeah.
they were much older than me as well. They looked after me. So I kind of had that leeway because I was with people who looked out for me.
Of course.
And they're still my friends to this day.
That's beautiful.
So, you know, it was one of those... It was a light bulb moment.
Yeah,
and
a
to be
coup
honest,
de fruit.
it did, yeah, it planted something. And it
Yeah.
did mean I did change up how I was a lot.
Yeah.
I was always on point, always on time, did everything I was meant to do. But in the evening, I'd be like,
Of
'cause
course.
I used to smoke with other band members, right?
Yeah, because
But
you're
even
trying to
them, they were like,
decompress.
yeah, but even they were like, okay, coming from him,
Yeah.
let's get our shit together.
Damn.
So
that
it was
means,
interesting, yeah.
So that means you guys were already heading there. Like,
We did okay.
you guys were heading.
We were going in the right direction, and
Okay.
overall, we did pretty okay. I mean, that was, it was the 90s. They were pretty, at the time, they became one of the biggest bands in the UK
Yes,
in
yes,
the
yes.
90s. And I don't know if you know Acid Jazz.
Acid Jazz.
Yeah, that scene, it was
Oh, yes.
like one of the biggest
I
acid
remember.
jazz bands.
Yes,
at
I
the time.
remember. I remember Acid Jazz. Beautiful, beautiful sound.
So I was a journalist, that's how I met them. I interviewed them,
yeah.
and I let them review my piece.
So, what I really want to know about now
Yeah.
is your journey. You know, you tell me that you're a baby, you know, when you were young, you're passionate, you're creative. What drove you? Was it God or was it something else? I think,
For me, I
Please
think
just tell us more.
it was something else.
okay.
I think, I know.
Yeah.
For example, you talk about the God question.
Mm-hmm.
My mother is religious. She goes to
Yeah.
church. Her parents are very much in the church.
Yeah.
My father was also brought up by a pastor father,
Mm-hmm.
but he hated church. So he
That's
used to run
crazy.
away from church every Sunday.
Yeah.
And his dad would beat him. And he said, one day I was quick enough to run away and I never went to church again. He only started going to church because when he met my mum.
Yeah.
But my mother took us to church. He
Mm-hmm.
would always give us these sound bites,
Yeah.
which actually I've now realised are quite zen.
Yeah.
Like, there's no sweet without sweat. And he would say the silent vessel makes the most noise, and he'd come up with all these big things.
Mm-hmm.
And he always encouraged me.
Yeah.
And my mother did too. So, for example, my mum she let me draw on the walls. There was one wall in the house I was allowed to draw on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you like Basquiat
And I was with my
It just-
pencils from when I was a kid.
for real?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you grew up in an African home
I grew up in an African home.
and you were drawing on the walls.
My mother allowed me to draw on the walls.
That's
and my father
crazy.
he didn't like it.
Yeah,
But my
of
mother would
course.
just a small section of the wall.
That's crazy.
I used to draw on the walls.
And you didn't get a beating?
Once.
Okay.
And then my father protected. He says, you cannot suppress this.
Yeah.
She's just doing it naturally, so let her do it.
Of course.
So I was allowed to do it.
That's crazy.
And then I just kept drawing, and I went and studied art. And
Yeah.
I was doing art lessons from when I was 4.
Oh, that's crazy.
Until,
So your parents like pushed you.
Yeah, but my mother's
to
also
kind of-
creative mind. She also does
Oh,
design,
okay.
but she's never been allowed to express it.
Yeah.
So in a way, it was like, okay, go ahead and do it. But I wanted to go all the way, but
Whoa.
typical African parents, how are you going to work?
Yeah.
So it's always
Obviously.
something I've gone back to, something I've always done.
Yeah. Do you still draw it like to this day?
Yeah, I went back to art school.
Oh,
I went
that's
back
cool.
to art school 4 years ago because
Oh,
I
wow.
never studied it. So I went back to study.
Yeah.
But
And
I've
how was
always
that?
done
Like
it.
how did that like impact you
It
in
was-
a
It was
sense?
fun. I mean, it was in my own time. It was
Oh,
on a
okay.
weekend. So I basically didn't have a weekend for 2 years.
Oh wow.
So I was
Hectic.
going to art school.
Yeah.
But it was the encouragement that drove me.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in life, I would say when I found my own way,
Yeah.
I took on a lot of, I guess, what you may call Buddhist thinking,
Mm-hmm.
which is more about being honest to yourself and being there for others and looking for the happiness and the joy and the help,
Yeah.
of others.
Yeah.
And creativity is a really big thing in that,
Mm-hmm. It is.
in that way of life.
It is.
And so that's always fueled me, because to me, creativity connects people, regardless
wow.
of language,
True.
regardless of a lot of things.
True.
So I would say it's It's encouragement from my parents. It's my own drive. And to be honest, I went through life of having, when I was working, if I was in an environment that wasn't creative enough,
Yeah.
I would feel it.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, if I was in an environment that was crazy
And how did you
creative,
overcome that? Like having to work in an environment that was a bit draining as
I
a
would
creative?
leave. I would leave.
So you just resigned.
I would just resign.
And how did that work?
I figured it out, man. I figured it out. I remember walking out of a job once because I was 2 minutes late and my boss screamed at me and I went, well, I'm out. And I remember leaving and going, I've got no job. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I hated that job.
Yeah.
And I remember ringing friends, do you know of any work? And then I wasn't living at home and I had to ring my parents and say, I have no job.
Yeah.
I walked out and I have no money.
Hectic.
And my dad was like, figure it out. He goes, we're here, but figure it out. And
That's
it comes
crazy.
from that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And again, to me, it's, we're talking about joy. I had people who were there for me, who always supported me. I mean, I told you the certain person who put me on my first music job.
Yeah.
He was there for me. And he's one of the few people who, he takes no nonsense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's like, you're good enough. You figure it out.
Yeah.
You've got a positive energy. You'll figure it out. And
Yeah.
within 3 weeks, I was freelancing. I figured out how to start on my own.
Yeah.
I was just ringing people. And I started off doing stuff for virtually nothing.
Oh, man.
And then you build yourself up.
Of course.
And I've always lived by the mantra, if you're as good as the last job you did.
Yeah, definitely.
I've always lived by that.
So you were basically as good as the last jobs you did.
Now,
And you
I
just
think,
like-
now that's how I was. I was very single-minded about it.
Okay.
But I think when I had a lot, I for whatever reason, when I was thinking back over the years,
Yeah.
especially when I was talking about 2020, I had less fear. For whatever reason, I was really less fearful when I was younger.
Yeah.
I really
You told me about dancing on a pedestal.
I used to be a podium dancer.
Yeah, you was
I
on
podium
podiums
danced.
and
Yeah, I did
you like
podium
going
dance.
crazy with it. Like
That's how we earned money. I was a student.
Yeah.
You have to live.
That's how you were scouted.
Yeah, I was in clubs all the time.
And that's
Not
the
necessarily
crazy thing.
podium dancing, but I was in clubs all
Yeah.
the time, except Mondays.
So
Monday
was
was my
like
day off.
crazy. So you spent Tuesday to Sunday.
Yeah. We even had a club that I called Church
What?
because there was a group of us who were there every Sunday. We didn't even have to know who was going and who wasn't knowing.
Yeah.
We just knew everyone who was going to be there.
So you guys you were baptizing the
We just turned
atmosphere.
up. We just turned up. And
Yeah.
were all there. But they were all people who now, if you look at what they're doing, they're creatives. They're
Yeah.
in the music. That was in London, and London had a scene.
Of
and
course.
It was a really huge scene. To be honest, it's quite similar to what I'm seeing here.
Like in Johannesburg.
Yeah, there's an energy here that's really similar to what I had when I was coming up.
So like a London.
I mean, it's an
Or-
energy. It's a positivity. It's an energy. It's a
Yeah.
connection. Talk about joy. It's there.
Yeah. That's true.
And
There's a lot of
it's-
joy in
it's
South
not-
Africa.
It's not. I haven't seen that anywhere else
Really?
since I was part of something in London, and that's no lie.
And you've traveled like the world.
I haven't seen that. I mean, okay. In the 90s in the US, I think
Mm-hmm.
there was a movement happening there. It was
Yeah, yeah.
different. The music was coming up. But now, it's something I haven't seen.
That's crazy.
The energy I haven't seen.
That's
I mean, of course, you have it in pockets everywhere. But
Of
what
course.
I'm seeing here, maybe I'm in a bubble. But,
Most probably.
but I'm seeing something that I haven't seen elsewhere.
Because everyone says Johannesburg is like the capital of like, the epicenter of parties, the epicenter of the vibe and the culture. So I can imagine you seeing that when you get here, having to also leave the country and go to Zambia, go to London, come back. Like the circulation overall is just,
But there's an energy here that I think, and you're in it.
I am.
So I don't know if you recognize what it is.
I do. I truly do. And I embrace it.
But yeah, I mean, I last time I was here, I met people who work in stores.
Yeah.
Who has led on to all sorts of different conversations.
Yeah,
But again, it's just talking to people, and people
That's
here
true.
are open, and the creativity here is fierce.
it is. It's very fierce.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we have so many things we can be inspired by. We look at, like, the cultures in township, inspiration. We come back to the suburbs. So everything is, like, super
Yeah.
inspiring, super... It's like a collective effort.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a collective effort. It's like we're all getting inspired by each other,
Yeah.
producing product that's going to inspire the next generation, and
But that to me is what it should be. And that to me is an energy I'm definitely seeing here. So even when you talk about joy, me coming here is really a nice break. And it is joyful. So you meet people like you. I meet people in different environments, which I don't see that easily elsewhere.
You don't?
No, I mean, maybe it's where I put myself. Maybe I don't know what it is. But I come here with a very different mind. Every time I come here, my mind is very different. Because the energy is very different.
That's true. Johannesburg is really different.
Yeah.
So, now that you found, Johannesburg as passion driven and creative and amazing. In your life, what is the miracle that kind of brought joy to your life? That one miracle that happened and you felt like, this is it, man.
It's not, to be honest, it's not necessarily my personal miracle. It's an observation of someone who I know.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to do with partying, nothing to do with creativity. To me, it's a life-moving thing.
Yeah.
She was, from a very early age, couldn't have kids. She went through early menopause, which happens. She was under 35.
Hectic.
And that was her dream, was to be a mother.
Wow.
And she had married, and for 1 week she felt weird.
Yeah.
And then I guess all the hormones kicked in as normal.
Yeah.
And then they went away again. And in that 1 week, she managed to conceive a child.
That's crazy.
And that sounds very... But to me, the joy was seeing her having pretty much written herself off from a very young age.
Of course.
To now getting what she really was. Because some people are born for motherhood. Some people, that's all they want. And that was all she wanted. And so to see a friend go through that...
Yeah.
And it still sticks in my mind. Because I even think, how the hell... Even the doctors are going, how the hell did that happen? It was never meant to happen. Ever.
Because God came from the skies.
Something happened.
With a plan.
There was a plan that she didn't know about.
True. And that was a kid.
And it was a kid that she was told she would never have.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. I mean, I find that very beautiful. I think.
But to me, that's again when you talk about joy. To me, joy is not just always about my own things. It's also being able to look at other people.
True.
See where, especially when someone you know gets what they want or does well. That brings me happiness.
Well, I mean, I'm happy that you're here. So that's like highlight of my week.
Thank you so much.
Because I've just been like super all over the place about it, but I'm very happy that you came through. Like,
thank you for bringing me here.
Super, super exciting. I don't know. I just have so many questions to ask, but have you ever been in a relationship or friendship that is centered purely around joy?
I think it's a mixture with that. I think for me, for a relationship to be deep or have any meaning, there'll be lots of other things that come into it.
Yeah.
But I would say you've met my best friend.
Yeah, Roberto.
Yeah. That
Icon.
Connection is probably the closest I've come to full joyfulness. I don't even call him my friend. He's a brother.
Yeah. You guys are not even from the same mother.
No, not even from the same continent.
But apparently your mom likes him now, so...
My mum likes him. I knew his mother before she passed.
Yeah.
She took care of me. So even for me for him to be here, it was really important for him to meet my mother, because I'm like, this is the person. This is my person.
Yeah.
And he's like a brother.
Jeez.
And I would say that is, but there's joy. There's every emotion you could ever imagine has gone into that relationship.
That's crazy.
In terms of how with a friend.
And what's your biggest highlight, like, in terms of your friendship? Like, what's one moment that is just unforgettable? Like when you sit there and you think, 2013, me and this person, or 2006.
God,
this was actually like crazy.
It was the poignant thing of when you realize your friend is there for you 150%.
Yeah.
So he lost his mother.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have a niece who's disabled.
Okay.
So I was fundraising.
Yeah.
I rode from London to Paris.
Jeez.
To raise money for her.
That's
and he said, I'll do it with you. Because if I don't come, you're not going to do it. Which is true. I would probably flaked out.
Yeah.
But his mother passed away in that process.
Of course.
So I said, okay, fine, you go and deal with that.
3
days before a week before I was due to leave, he called me and he goes, I can't let you do this on your own.
Hectic.
And I'm like, wow, really? I didn't expect him to come, but he came through. He hadn't trained, nothing. And we cycled to Paris together.
From London?
From London.
You guys cycle like
we
you.
cycled on bicycles.
That is absolutely, that's true friendship.
I messed up my hip. It's probably why my knee screwed.
That's true friendship.
He cracked his ribs. I mean, it was proper hectic. But then when he got to Paris, he said, you now have to come with me to Sweden to bury my mother. And I want you to read the eulogy. And I was like, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
And that is when you realise some friendships go well beyond
the surface.
The surface.
That
was the beginning. I mean, there's been loads before and how we got there, but that's when you really realise. But I would say that relationship is based on joy. It is based on positivity.
I can imagine.
And, so to me, and we've introduced each other to people who, again, of similar ilk.
Yeah.
So it's really special.
I mean, I met you through him.
Exactly.
And
when he met you, he came raving about you.
It was joyful.
So there you go.
It's black joy. I mean, he's not black, but he's black to me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Roberto is black to me. Yeah. He's obviously not black, but I love him the way
his attitude is very different.
Yeah, I don't think I think maybe he's black in the inside. They probably don't tell us that we are hiding a little bit of, Africanism, inside of us as white people. Some white people have black tendencies, and
I mean, the way he behaves is not. He fitted in here like this.
He did.
He fitted into my family home like this. There were no questions.
I thought he was from South Africa, actually.
No, man.
Until we started speaking.
First time in Africa.
Really?
In his whole life.
He's never been to Africa?
He's never been to Africa in his life.
So he's just a white boy from London.
He was dropped in
dropped in Johannesburg.
2 weeks ago.
And he's just been living his best African life.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love to see people thriving. I love it. But what has your involvement been in creating Black Joy?
I mentioned it to you earlier.
Yeah.
I mentor now. I've lived long enough. I mentor young people.
Yeah.
Specifically young black women.
Mm-hmm.
Or women or young black people identify as women, actually. But it goes broader than that.
Yeah.
I've moved out of doing, I still work in creative, but I also now understand how you make money from it.
Of course.
That is kind of where I know I can bring real value to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I mentor a lot of young people through that specifically. And it's not like I go on mentorship programs, I either meet them and it's organic, because to me mentorship is it's about relationship and it's give and take. It's not just me telling you. I learn a lot from them too.
Yeah.
It brings me joy when you see people doing really well. There's a young lady who I mentored.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, through COVID. She is now up for prizes. She's doing incredibly well. She works in fashion. And she's like, hey, look what I'm doing. That makes me, she's doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
And I'm part of a group called Black Excellence, which was founded again because of marginalization in certain industries.
Of course.
Technology.
Of course.
And we were me and another woman were the only 2 black people in the room in 2017.
Wow.
So we formed a group around that at the Web Summit, which is the biggest internet technology summit on the planet. Mm-hmm. And from that, we've built Black Excellence.
That's beautiful.
And it's through networking, through connections, through people like this, connecting people, creatives, politics, But the thing is, it's about driving policy. It's not just make money. It's about policy drives everything.
Yeah.
So we really think about how you can make big change.
Yeah.
Through lots of different things. So the joy comes from that. Sounds quite heavy, but I do think Black Joy is...
It does.
There's levels of it. You're like... When things are... When you see people doing well, when you see people, having their shows all over the world.
Yeah.
Really moving the direction they want to move in. That to me is what Black Joy should be.
True.
Because everyone is trying for that not to happen.
That is very true.
And
the systems don't allow for
come
it.
From this. That's why for me, we bring Black Joy because we created this. It comes from a place of struggle, I guess, which is global. Mm-hmm. But the outcome of it is not struggle.
It's not.
And that's where we should be headed.
Do you think that we're getting there though? What's your take on us having to establish that Black Joy? Obviously you see a lot of South Africans, a lot of Africans, I mean, I would just say South Africans, literally taking over the globe. And it's it's inspiring. At the same time, it's not easy.
It's not easy, but I think one of the things I definitely found, in London, regardless of where you come from, that network is there.
True.
And that to me is, Africa should be running the world, really. really, creatively and in all sorts of stuff. There's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going in the right direction. I think this generation
Yeah,
really could move the needle.
that's true.
I really think this. I mean, I'm an old person.
I mean,
This
I don't think you're that old. I
generation
think your
could really-
spirit is young.
Oh yeah,
You give me like a lot of like young energy
age-wise
from.
and how long I've been walking on this earth.
Yeah.
The next generation to me is really kicking it.
But we need
Really
the help.
kicking
But
it.
I feel like we need the help of you more. We need the help of
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
of others that like,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
I don't think as like somebody that like myself
Yeah.
started out in journalism, I didn't really have the hand of like a black person helping me.
Yeah.
I've always had the hand of a white person helping me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need more black, because white people don't relate. Not to be offensive, but they can't resonate with my struggles from my African mother
Yeah.
and my African father.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
There's a
I mean-
barrier of some sort.
I mean, I was blessed that I had black men
Yes.
who helped me, and then black women along the way. So I had black role models.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason also why personally I'm like mentorship is super important
Yeah.
within the black community wherever they come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because but the reference points,
do.
the ones who really push you,
Yeah.
tend to be black people. For me, that's been my experience.
That is very true.
So that's why I'm saying for me, that's where my head is at, 100%.
Okay. Okay. On a lighter note. On a lighter note.
Yeah.
What is your top 5 songs right now?
Oh Jesus.
Now we're gonna be light now. Now we need to
My
just
top
bring
5
it up.
songs. There's so many.
Yeah, they bring you joy. We don't want sad songs. We don't want
No,
Daniel Caesar.
Oh, I can't even remember the name of it. What's her name? Lady Alma. It's an old tune.
Mm-hmm.
Let It Rain. Old
Let It
tune.
Rain. Yeah, that's actually a really nice song.
It's a house tune.
Yes, I remember that song. Oh, actually, I think I play it.
You probably do.
Yeah,
It was a video went viral of that tune of some guy in the townships dancing to it here.
Of course.
That was a viral thing. That song always brings me joy.
Yeah.
What's that song? There's a Frankie Knuckles. It's a Frankie Knuckles tune. Oh, what's it called? I was listening to it the other day. I can't remember. My brain's gone blank.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay,
I'll
I
remember
mean,
it. I can't even think. It's hum it now.
Hum it for me. Let's hear. Maybe we can beatbox. Let's try and figure out like a beatbox that we
No,
can
it's not
do.
even a beatbox. It's quite melodic. It's a melodic tune. I'll come back to that one.
Okay.
I'll come back to that one.
And then number
to that
3.
Number 3 is Goldie.
Okay. It's been a while since I heard Goldie.
Yeah, but I've started listening to him again.
Okay.
It's timeless.
Okay.
I saw him doing an orchestra in London. That's come back on my playlist.
It's crazy.
Another one that makes me laugh is Michelle Indigo-Cello. She's one of my favourite artists.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she's very good. She's very
I
good.
don't know
She's
if it
brilliant,
makes
actually.
sense. But if that's your
brilliant.
boyfriend, that's another one that's bringing me joy. It's funny
Oh,
though.
wow. Yeah.
You know that song.
No, I don't think I do. But I know some of her other songs.
So I'm listening
Very
to.
deep.
I listen to. I regurgitate my music,
Yeah.
and right now, what's bringing me joy is because it's. I'm needing reference points to help me move forward right now. That's the stage I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Being completely off it.
I mean, you do need to go back to move forward, right?
But that's where I am at now.
That's beautiful. I
And
like
how many
that.
is that? That's 2. It's 2, 4, 3
That's
songs.
I think. I mean, okay, fine. So
I don't-
those are like the older songs. Any new songs that you feel actually hit the spot for you? Because you told me that by Burna Boy.
Yeah. That's
What do you
because
think of Burna? What's your take on like Burna Boy?
He's got some good tunes.
Yeah.
He's coming out with okay. To me, there's the music,
Mm-hmm.
and then you listen to the interviews and the person.
Okay.
I don't,
I think he's funny.
he's very funny and he's saying some
got a
really
great
interesting stuff right now.
Really.
I'm really liking what he's coming out with.
He's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah, I do like his stuff.
Yeah.
Some of his stuff, not all of it,
Okay.
but I like his sense of humor. I like the
And
way his
Wizkid?
direction.
What do you think of Wizkid? Not to compare, but I mean,
I don't listen to Wizkid. Let me be honest, I don't.
really?
No.
Even the previous song, you don't
No.
need no other body.
No,
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 not at all.
no. There's some
crazy.
There's some music I don't listen to.
That's crazy.
Because I talk to my niece sometimes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, we're not in the same ballpark anymore. There's sometimes I listen to music and go and do my journey.
Yeah.
But some stuff she listens to, I'm like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what she's even talking about sometimes.
Absolutely not. And then TikTok, what do you think of TikTok? What do you think of like the new generation?
It's cool.
You know,
I think
social
TikTok
media
is great. I mean, social media is something I'm part of. I do it.
and Instagram, Twitter. What's your take on Twitter?
Oh God, man, I came off Twitter a long time.
They were just draining the black joy out of us, weren't they?
I came off Twitter a very long time ago.
When did you come off Twitter?
2010.
What? You didn't even see the evolution of Twitter.
No, it's okay.
Well, you saved yourself.
I follow journalists on Twitter and that's it.
Okay, fair.
I have an account, but I don't do anything on it.
Yeah, no, you are safe. Where you are, you are safe. It's not safe out here.
Since this last situation came out with Mr. Musk, no.
No, it's not safe. The Twitter streets are not safe. I will tell you myself, they're not safe.
You
But we move, we move. We keep it going. I'm up for TikTok. I think TikTok is
TikTok for me
beautiful.
is great. I don't contribute to it, but I use it in a music group. We make our own videos and have fun with it.
Oh, wow.
Instagram, absolutely.
Yeah.
Facebook is just to connect with friends.
Okay.
My Facebook is very closed.
Oh, okay, cool. I mean, I will be tapping into requests. I'll be requesting there.
Facebook, you won't even find me.
I will. I'm telling you. I'm like investigator.
Okay.
I'm going to find you. I'm going to search you and I'm going to find you. And I'm going to follow you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do when I wake up.
My Facebook is a bit quiet.
It is? Mine's also very
junk
quiet.
on there.
Mine's also weird. It's just for family. Because some of my family lives overseas. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so
mine is similar.
It's similar, right? Yeah. It's, old school. It's a village. Call it the village,
Exactly.
Where the older people live, and then Instagram is where the aesthetics, and Twitter is where vile,
No, I came off just a long time.
Yeah, no, you saved yourself.
Long time.
You did. I'm proud of you.
The last thing I did on Twitter is when it turned a certain age, you could tweet something, and they did a thing on your account, how many years and how many tweets you sent. And they built a 3D snowman for your Christmas tree, and they sent it to you. That's when I came off Twitter.
Was that like a graph? I don't remember that. I actually don't remember that.
Like 2008. That's
kind
of when I
crazy.
stopped using it.
Nah, that's a bit crazy. Okay, what else can I ask you that's very like provocative? It'll get you going.
Anything you want.
Your favorite sex position?
Love swings.
Love swings.
Yeah, man.
What is it like? Like, what is the dynamics?
On a love swing, you do what you want.
I don't know. As in a love swing, like that swing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I've never done that before.
They're fun.
What is it like? Is it like invigorating? Does it give you like a different perception of like your sex?
It's very eye-opening. It's opening, and you're not in control of the situation.
Crazy. That's insane.
It's not about a position.
Yeah. It's actually about the swing.
Yeah. And it helps if you're, it's cool. You should try it.
I will. I'll take your tips on that. I'll keep it very close.
Because sex to me should be a lot freer than it is. Most people don't do sex very well.
I think I'm gay.
Yeah.
So sex for us is completely different.
Of course.
We really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's good.
Yeah.
So I don't know for the straight people, because somebody was telling me about a friend of mine called Misa. Yeah. She said sometimes it feels like men are edging for like 15 minutes and they're not getting to the point.
I think men should dig into themselves a lot more if they want to have good sex.
You reckon they're not vulnerable enough?
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I wouldn't know, but that's fair.
Yeah, I think so. When you find someone who is, it makes a big difference.
Is it a great... But do you think men are vulnerable, though?
Some can be, yeah.
Some can be?
Yeah.
And how have you experienced that? Have you experienced any form of black joy in that sense?
Yeah, I was with someone for 19 years. You get to that point.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's insane.
You get there.
But I mean, it's a love, hate relationship, I guess.
With what?
With like heteronormatively, with sex and. Because I don't know. I'm gay. I don't know anything about straight people. I can't even actually. Let me shut up. I don't know what I'm saying right now.
I think with anybody, whether you're gay, straight, whatever, you really need to connect with yourself to have great sex.
And if you're connected and the person isn't?
Then it's not always great. But you can go on a journey with that person if you care about it.
Fair. But the streets are cold, though. But the streets are cold right now, Mo.
For who?
For people. People are not seeing it. The streets are cold. Like, people are trying to be in relationships. It's not working. People are getting cheated on. It's tough. Like, it's for people to actually have a relationship that's like solidified.
Yeah, we have
it's
to have
tough
you have
unless
to have a starting point to have a solid relationship.
And if you're not on the same starting point as the other?
Figure it out. To me, I won't hang around.
So, okay, fair.
Because, I mean, there's some things you can change, other things you can't.
True. And you think this generation is at a point where they... Because I think that we're at an instant gratification point.
Yeah, which to me is also problematic.
Because
things take time.
They do.
It's like you can't cook a good meal and it cooks in 2 seconds.
That's true.
It doesn't work that way.
That's true.
That's to me, but that's also from experience, right?
That is
I
true.
was with someone for a very long time.
Yeah.
And that worked because we gave it time. I'm no longer with that person now. And it's da-da-da-da, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
This is crazy. The streets are cold. The streets are cold.
You've got to take your time.
That's true.
So I'm all about taking time.
That is very true. I believe in that too. You
But
know?
also, I'm also, depends what people want. Some people want a relationship, some people don't.
I think most people just want to smash.
Yeah,
Smash or pass.
Then be honest about it.
Smash or pass. But talking about smash or pass,
Yeah.
can I give five examples who say smash or pass?
Okay, go on.
Okay, Idris Elba.
Oh, I know him.
You know him? That's crazy.
He went to school with him. I can't see.
Okay. You
Nothing.
can't. Okay. Cut the cameras. Okay. Let's say Barack Obama.
Oh, he has to be a smash.
Definitely, nah?
Yeah.
He's a little
got
bit
a
of a
good
cutie,
brain,
that
and
guy.
he's quite
Nah?
cute. He's
Yeah,
cheeky.
he's giving something. He's
Yeah.
giving ambiance
something.
to the room. LeBron James.
Pass.
Pass.
Yeah.
You think he's whack?
No, it's just not my thing.
No.
No.
What is your things? Build, tiny.
You know the person who I saw in the flesh who I was really surprised by?
Who?
Shocked me 1,000%.
Who?
50 Cent.
You lying?
They do. In the flesh?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. The aura, the height, it's just not like you see on TV.
Really?
No.
What is he like?
One, he's nice,
Yeah.
but he moves, he's just got an aura about him that I've never, it's like, Jesus.
Is it overwhelming? Is it like
Yeah,
Drake?
you lose your breath. That's star quality right there. It's like, oh wow.
Because I met Drake and he's also got like star quality. He's also got that like enters the room and everything kind of stops.
Yeah, but he enters the room, but it's an energy that's
Yeah.
brought to the room. It's not like, no, and then he's just a nice person.
That's really cool. I didn't think that of 50 because he's
Neither
so
did I.
petty. He's so petty on
very
socials.
petty.
He's like dragging Nicki Minaj. Just has
Yeah, I mean, that's the sad side about him. But when I met him, I was like, well, okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Now I have a different perception of 50 Cent. It's like, I don't know. But I
But
don't
I
know.
think everyone in the flesh on social media doesn't tell you anything. Does it?
You reckon?
Yeah,
I met quite a few celebrities that I didn't like.
Yeah, there's a lot you don't like.
Yeah,
But I think looking on social media doesn't always give you a story.
true. That is true. Nobody's in their final form.
It's in the form they want to see them in.
That's true, actually. So I think we can,
Wrap it up.
wrap it up.
It's nice talking to you.
I enjoy talking to you. I mean, it's a privilege that I even got you to begin with, to come and speak about what joy really represents for you. And and I think that's the kind of notion I want us to kind of leave with, that,
Okay.
we share that kind of energy of just joy.
Yeah.
People of color need a lot of it,
Yeah, we need a lot.
and we need to start sharing it amongst each other. So,
I mean, I think my one
that's a big
take
thing.
would be I really hope
yeah,
it's a collective thing and it's not down to what country you come from. Because I think the most powerful is when it comes from a collective.
true. Community is everything.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap for the day. Thank you so much for coming to join us, Mo. I really enjoyed having a conversation with you today. And catch us on YouTube, catch us on socials at Black Joy Voices. And shout out to everyone that's going to click the like button, subscribe. It's mad love from me, Kumo. Mad love from...
No. Thank you.
Thank you so much.